When you are multiplying polynomials, you are using the product rule, which means, of course, you need to add the exponents. Let's look at the first question. We need to use the distributive property to multiply this out. So we have 2y times y plus 2y times 5. Now, for the first part, since you have a product, use the product rule and add the exponents. So that part will be 2y squared plus 10y. To check your answer, you could go back and factor out the greatest common factor to see if you get the original problem. Let's look at another question. We have 4y plus 5 times 3x plus 2. Now, when you're multiplying a binomial times another binomial, you can distribute or you can use the FOIL method. To start, multiply 4x times 3x, which will give you 12x squared. Multiply 4x times 2, giving you 8x. Now multiply 5 times each part. 5 times 3x will give us 15x. And then last, 5 times 2 will give us a positive 10. The only thing left to do is combine your middle terms. So the middle term would give us 23x. Our final answer is 12x squared plus 23x plus 10. You can FOIL or distribute to multiply these binomials. Let's look at another question. Let's say we have the problem x plus 4y times 3x minus 5y. Again, you can use the FOIL method or the distributive property. What I did was multiply x times 3x first of all. Using the product rule, add the exponents, or in this case the ones, giving us 3x squared. Next, multiply x times negative 5y. There's nothing you can do here that would just give you negative 5xy. Take 4y next and multiply it times 3x. So that will give us 12xy. And last, multiply 4y times negative 5y. That will give us negative 20 y squared. At this point, combine your like terms in the middle. 12 minus 5 will give you a positive 7xy. So our final answer is 3x squared plus 7xy minus 20y squared. Watch your signs and combine like terms when needed. Let's look at one more multiplication problem. We have the problem y minus 6 times 5y squared plus 2y minus 1 . The best thing to do here is the distributive property. So we can take y and multiply it times everything in the second parentheses. So y times 5y squared and also y times 2y and y times negative 1. So that will give us, for the first part, 5y cubed plus 2y squared, and the last part is minus y. So again, the first step, I distributed the y times everything in the second pair of parentheses. Let's take the negative 6 and do the same thing. Multiply it times each part in the second parentheses. So negative 6 times 5y, 5y squared, will give you a negative 30y squared. Negative 6 times 2y that will give us a negative 12y. And then finally negative 6 times negative 1 will give us a positive 6. Let me scroll up and down to show you what we have so far. Okay, the last step is to combine our like terms. So let me bring down the terms we have. 5y cubed plus 2y squared minus y. And I'll bring down the second pair of terms, second set of terms. And I'm lining these up according to like terms vertically. So we have negative 30y squared minus 12y plus 6. And just combine like terms. Bring down the 5y cubed. The y squareds, a positive 2 and a negative 30 would give you negative 28 y squared. With the y's, a negative 1 and a negative 12, you keep the signs and add the numbers together. That would give us negative 13y. And bring down the plus 6. For multiplication, like a binomial times a trinomial like we did here, probably the best thing to use is the distributive property.